In today's video, I want to chat to you guys about the exciting thing that I came across quite recently. It's called the Namibian Residency by Investment Scheme. I was really privileged quite recently to do an interview with a guy. His name is Andrew van Schalkwyk from a place called Indian Partners. They are based in Namibia, and they're obviously running this program where you can get residence in Namibia through investment. And then the other person that I also talked to is my go-to guy, tax consulting South Africa, Jashwin Baijoo, and we just unpacked a little bit of the tax consequences of something like this and what the advantages would be of moving to a country like Namibia. There's a couple of big advantages. Make sure that you watch the interview. I really enjoyed doing this interview, and I'm sure that you guys will find a lot of value by looking at this interview as well. So just remember once again to give the video a like. Remember to hit the subscribe button to the channel, and then let me shoot down to my computer, then I can show you guys the interview itself. In today's video, I want to chat to you guys about an option that is out there, which they call Namibian Residency through Investment Program. I'm really privileged today to have Andrew van Schalkwyk with me as well, and we're going to be talking about the whole process of how it works and stuff. Andrew, do you want to maybe give me a little bit of information, just hi to the viewers, and just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Morning, everyone. Nice of you to be joining us this morning. I'll be chatting to you about the President's Links itself, which is the unique vehicle in which you can invest in order to gain residence by investment in Namibia. It is located in Walvis Bay, previously part of the Western Cape, but it is now Namibian since 1994.
Okay, I think maybe to start off with, do you want to tell me a little bit about the program, what it is, how does it work? Is it something new? Has it been around for a long time?
Heinrich, no, it has not been around very long. In fact, we launched it for the first time in February this year through Henley & Partners. So the actual program itself is you would invest into the President's Links estate, and as a result of our Investment Act in Namibia, there are certain thresholds, and based on your actual investment, you'll then be able to receive residence. The residence comes in the form of a investor visa. Investor visas are issued as work permits in Namibia. So you'll receive a 5-year renewable work visa, which renews. And if you renew it for long enough and you're able to prove to the Ministry of Home Affairs that you can apply for permanent residence, then that is something that you can apply for after retaining your property for a number of years.
Okay. Great, and what is the threshold? How much is it that you need to invest to be able to qualify for the program?
So currently for non-retirees, the entry-level property or the entry-level investment is $365,000 US, and for retirees it's $300,000 US.
And tell me a little bit about the country. What is the benefits for a South African to make the decision to become a resident? Is the infrastructure? Do you guys have electricity? I think there's a big question at the moment.
So we have very good infrastructure in Namibia. In fact, Namibia has been voted having some of the best roads in Africa for the last 5 years. Our road infrastructure is being upgraded every year, and it has been so for the last 5 to 10 years. Because Walvis Bay's port has now tripled in size, being able to handle up to 1 million containers per annum, you can imagine the influx of cargo and logistics companies in and out of the port. So at the moment, our Kalahari corridor is being used to the most of its potential, getting a lot of copper through from Zambia down through to the port, as well as providing a lot of resources from the port up into the landlocked countries surrounding Namibia. As far as electricity is concerned, we have no electricity problems whatsoever.
That's great
In
news.
fact, as we speak, or currently, Namibia has been identified as one of the best countries for renewable energy. So we have some of the highest radiation levels for solar, making it as effective as it can be. And we're also becoming the new hub for green hydrogen production, having launched a very big project in Lüderitz, and with several up-and-coming projects in Walvis Bay, in fact, in the Ironga region.
So Andrew, just another question that I would like to ask you as well is in terms of South African residents, what will make an opportunity like that unique for us to actually go for it? You know, is there a lot of differences between South Africa and Namibia?
Heinrich, so I mean, Walvis Bay having been part of the Western Cape until 1994, and Namibia being so accessible. I mean, it's a 2-hour flight away from both Cape Town and Johannesburg. Walvis Bay in general, Namibia in general, we speak the same languages, we share the same culture. You know, we also like a good braai, and we like watching our rugby. So, you know, we share that same passion for being Southern Africans, if I can call it that. I suppose from a more professional point of view, we share the same financial system. We have the same banks. I mean, FNB in Namibia, Standard Bank, Nedbank are all banks that are both in South Africa and Namibia. Culture-wise, we share the same culture. Like I said previously, the language barrier, there's no language barrier. We very warm and welcoming people. I think for all those South Africans that have been to Namibia before, you know, you can attest to that. We've got a lot of freedom to roam. You know, Namibia is still one of those countries where you can still drive on the beach and still go and have a good braai on the beach. And all in all, it's a home away from home for South Africans.
Okay. And tell me something, if I decide that I want to go through this program, the Namibian Residency through investment, what is the procedure and how long does it more or less take to go through the process? If I decide today, okay, I'm in this, I want to take my stuff and leave South Africa, go to Namibia, where do you start?
Yeah, very, very smooth process, very, very easy to do. First and foremost, the actual Residence by Investment program is a government-backed program. The Namibian Investment Promotion and Development Board have been supporting us with the project for the last 2 years, and they've made the actual Residence by Investment program possible. The investment program itself at the moment is restricted to an estate called the President's Links Estate, located in Walvis Bay. It has about 580 residential properties that are available. So it is capped, it is limited, and then an additional 150 retirement properties that can be invested into. If you would like to invest into the President's Links and qualify for the Residence by Investment program, the steps are very easy. Either you contact your Henley & Partners advisor, which they have in 34 different countries around the world, or you can log into our website directly. You can phone me directly if you'd like to. You can provide the information, I think, in the details below. But on site, it's as easy as going onto the website, clicking on Apply Now, selecting your property, which house you'd like on that specific property. And once you've clicked Apply Now, you'll receive a confirmation email, and you'll be put into contact with our local attorneys, who are Dr. Vedder Kauta and Aveka. And after that, you'll be completing your KYC and FIA process, standard, I suppose, like in South Africa. And after that, you'll be given or sent a contract. Once we've signed the contract, there is a deposit payable of $7,500, and you need to provide a guarantee for the purchase price, the balance of the purchase price. This is then security or proof that you have invested into the project. And once that has been done, we will then enter into the actual application process, which you can complete online as well. The website is fully equipped to auto-populate all the forms that you require in order for us to submit to Home Affairs. And after that, you're looking at about a waiting period of 3 to 4 months. You'll be issued your visa within 3 to 4 months, and the project will kick off in December this year, and the first 300 homes will be available for occupation in December 2026.
Okay. Yeah, so it's on the horizon. It's sooner than what we think. And I think you guys gave us a lot of information in the video today that we talked about this whole process of how it works. There's one final tax question, but I'm going to put in one of the guys from Tax Consulting South Africa to answer that question for me. Just to talk about the tax system, you know, how it works, what the benefits are of moving to Namibia, because I think that is always a big question mark for people that are a little bit unsure about, you know, what the tax treatment would be of a move like that. And then, and I think the other thing that for the viewers as well, if you guys want more information, obviously you can go check out the website of Henley & Partners. There will be a lot of information there. And if you are based in South Africa, I really want to encourage you guys, get in touch with the guys at Tax Consulting South Africa. They are the starting point to get this process going. And as you'll see with the interview, that I'm going to ask a couple of tax questions with one of the guys at Tax Consulting South Africa. Reach out to them and make sure that you get the process going.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Thanks for your time this morning.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Heinrich. Have a nice day.
So I'm really privileged today as well to have Jashwin Baijoo with me from Tax Consulting South Africa, and I've got one big question when it comes to Namibian residency, is what happens with tax systems that side? Is it a lot different to South Africa? Is there benefits when it comes to tax of moving to Namibia? Jashwin, do you want to answer that question for me?
Morning, Heinrich, and morning to everyone that's tuning in. So when we look at the Namibian tax system, Namibia and South Africa were very, very similar for a long time. And Namibia has actually retained their source-based system, whereas South Africa has moved to a residency-based system back in 2001. Now, ultimately what this means is in Namibia, Namibian tax residents are only taxed on income that is derived from a Namibian source or deemed to be derived from a Namibian source. Now, that being said, there are certain additional caveats, such as a living annuity that's paid from South Africa. However, in the normal course, standard practice is that the policy provider will deal with the Namibian revenue authorities in terms of obtaining the relevant directive for the taxation of that benefit. Now, when we look at the tax system holistically, Namibia follows a very similar tax table system to South Africa, where your upper echelon is 1,500 NAD, 1.5 million NAD, which is equivalent to 1.5 million rands, as the Namibian dollar is pegged against the South African rand on a one-to-one basis. Now, the actual percentage of that echelon, as you know, in South Africa, we're hitting at 45% right at the top. Now, Namibia comes in significantly lower, at 37%, whereas their corporate rate on the other side averages at 32, soon to be 31, mirroring South Africa's 28, soon to be 27. The biggest benefit you are going to get in Namibia is there is no capital gains tax, nor is there any estate duty. And furthermore, because of the source-based tax system, you are not taxed on worldwide income, and it is not similar to South Africa, where there is that deemed disposal calculation on your worldwide assets either.
Yeah, there's definitely some big benefits that he mentioned there, and I think especially for people that's moving on a little bit in years, I think that's a very big consideration, especially the estate duty. I mean, that thing is something that kills a lot of people.
Correct. With the estate duty, what ends up happening is you almost double tax, but in the same jurisdiction. Now, in Namibia, that's done away with. The capital gains is done away with, and from a taxation perspective, when it comes to actually obtaining that Namibian tax residency, has to be broken with South Africa formally. It needs to be formally broken by the financial immigration process, or alternatively by application of the double taxation agreement between South Africa and Namibia, with Namibia being one of the 23 African states which South Africa has a DTA with.
Yes, Jashwin. So just one more question that I want to ask. There's a lot of confusion out there in the market at the moment about citizenship and tax residency. So what will happen in that situation? Is it the same thing? Is there differences over there? Is something that we need to be aware of?
Right, so ultimately there's three categories. There is your citizenship, your residency, and your tax residency, which you can seize, break, etc. in your home country. Now, when we look at the Namibian investment programs, those speak to residency in Namibia, whilst you retain your South African citizenship. Now, procedurally what needs to happen is an application must be made to the Department of Home Affairs here in South Africa for you to retain that, and alternatively, should you at some stage for any external jurisdiction wish to then further obtain citizenship there whilst retaining your South African citizenship, you do need to get a formal confirmation from the Department of Home Affairs. Residency is very different, because with specifically the Namibian investment program, you can become a resident in Namibia on a temporary basis, and after a period of time apply for permanent residency. Now, the Namibian Revenue Authority will then issue you with a letter which you can submit to the South African Revenue Service to then break your tax residency in South Africa, meaning you are then tax resident in Namibia as well, and that is when you can capitalize on the benefits such as no capital gains, no estate duty, and a lower upper echelon of the tax brackets.
Okay. So if I'm watching this video today and I decide that, okay, this is something that I want to investigate a little bit further, and maybe have a couple of other questions that I want to ask about my unique situation, where can we get hold of you guys?
Yeah, look, so when it comes to the financial immigration and double taxation, I would definitely suggest contacting a gentleman by the name of Thomas Lobben. This is definitely his forte's area of expertise, but you can get a hold of us at Tax Consulting South Africa. Our website has all contact details for the respective individuals, or alternatively, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I will ensure that it's directed to the appropriate teams within the business.
So for the guys that's busy watching the video as well, I'm going to share the contact details of Jashwin in the description of the video below. And make sure that you reach out to these guys. I've been working with Tax Consulting South Africa over the last couple of years, and I can really vouch for they really deliver great service when it comes to tax-related questions. Thanks,
Thank
Jashwin.
you, Heinrich.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming to answer this one question for me.
No, thanks, Heinrich.
Thanks. Yeah. One other question quickly. Kan die mense Afrikaans praat in Namibië?
Ja nee, ons gaan lekker Afrikaans praat in Namibië. Ek moet sê tussen die walvisbaaiers, ek dink as jy vir iemand vra wat die regte naam is vir walvisbaai, is definitief nie Walfish Bay nie. Jy weet, dis walvisbaai. En Afrikaans is groot. Ek sou sê die grootste taal in walvisbaai is definitief Afrikaans. Ons het Walvisbaai private hoërskool wat eintlik nou baie groot sportbijeenkoms gehad het met oor die 4000 mense wat van reg oor die land af gekom het. En weet ons het nog ons kerkbazare vir die NG Kerk daar. En ja, die Afrikaanse kultuur is baie groot. Ons het ook nou die Kuro skool wat groot is in Suid-Afrika, wat nou hulle eerste privaat skool begin bou in Walvisbaai. Dis eintlik 50 meter weg van die ingang van die President's Links Estate. En ons is baie opgewonde oor Suid-Afrikaners en ons hoop regtig Suid-Afrikaners gebruik hierdie geleentheid om wel Namibië toe te kom. Al is dit net vir 'n belegging. Walvisbaai is besig om uit sy nate uit te bars met die ontdekking van olie nou in ons see en die green hydrogen waaroor ek vroeër gepraat het. Daar kom groot goed in Walvisbaai en ja, dis die perfekte of ideaalste beleggingsgeleentheid vir Suid-Afrikaners vir die volgende 5 of 10 jaar.